Welcome everyone to our fourth editing group stream. For those of you, we are. Wow, I cannot speak today. Oh wow. Okay. For those new, we are a small group of writers who just got through the 50,000 word NaNoWriMo challenge. Regardless of where we are in the process, we are actually going to work on editing because let's face it, first drafts are never pretty. As a group, we meet 2 times weekly for 1 hour in December, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Central and Saturdays at 1 p.m. Central. All right, writers. For today, we are going to attack individual chapters. You will still need your notes from previous edit-ins. You should have an outline of your plot arcs and an outline of your character arcs. For our first prompt, we are going to spend 5 minutes reviewing the first chapter. Well, excuse me, reviewing your next chapter. We did our first chapter last one, so let's go ahead and do that. All right, diving in. All right, so I'm looking to make sure that this is my autocrit, and I'm looking to see if this has a beginning, a middle, and the end. I'm going to go into my summary and run my summary report. I am going to be talking through this 5-minute sprint. So my overall score for this chapter is going to be 83.28. Looking at my pacing, actually I can scroll down and show you guys some of these things. So yeah, looking at your sentence analysis and your paragraph analysis is really going to help you with looking at your pacing and sentence variations. I'll show you a chart. It's pretty cool. This tells you that there's looks like there's 2 chapters or there's 2 paragraphs here that are really slow. So I'm going to definitely want to take a look at those. Looks like we got a lot in this one, and looks like over in this one where it looks like it's nice and slow. You want it to be more up, down, up, down, up, down. All right. So that will give us a good idea of that. Sentence variation is another one that you can look at to view the summary. All of this actually overall looks really good. We do have some, looks like, as you can see, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's pretty varied. That is what's going to help keep it pretty exciting. But it looks like here, and maybe even here We have some issues with it being high and then high. So that could mean that it could be boring paragraphs. So I definitely want to keep that in mind when I am checking that. The other thing that we want to take a look at is, does it start off with a good, exciting first sentence? I woke to shaking. It took a moment to realize the shaking was from Scott carrying me down a lighted stone tunnel. I would say it's pretty grabbing from the beginning. So that's definitely, every time you start a chapter, you want it to be, gripping. And so I definitely am looking for that as well. Let's see what else. Go in. We looked at pacing. Let's look at our overall paragraph variation. Here's the paragraph variation. Paragraph number 4. So yeah, it looks like, those spots that we were pointing out in the sentences are right along where we're having these issues, where you have these nice long sections. So those are going to be the paragraphs I want to work on. All right. Readability is the next one. So looks like my readability score for the new Dale Shaw is about 4, which is fine. All of these look like it's about right. Number of words. This particular chapter is a little short. It has 1822, so I definitely want to add some if I can. And we do have some unfamiliar and complex words. This is a horror and a paranormal fantasy, so there's going to be words that are unique, so that's fine. All right, number of difficult sentences, there's 18, so there's 18 of them that we're probably going to want to take a look at. Let's go into and to see, you can click on complex words to see what types of things it thinks is complex. So if there's anything that, you can edit out, you can definitely do that. All right. So I like to, I like to go ahead and just get an overall feel of the chapters before I start my edits. Right now, we are taking a break. Please feel free to, I know that this part is really slow and tedious, but it definitely is worth doing right. Let's do a hydration check. Drink up water, whatever your beverage of choice is. And you can enjoy the bunny cam or just say hi in the chat as we rest up. Oh, we have a flopped out bunny. Oh my goodness. Flopped out bunny. No. That bunny is so adorable. So this bunny's name is Coda. He is, he's just staying for a few days with us, and he'll be going back home soon. He's so cute though. Just all flopped out. We like a snoozing bunny. There we go. Aww. It's a rough life being a bunny. So yeah, this particular bunny is definitely on the smaller size. It probably only weighs about 2 to 3 pounds, if that. He is currently unneutered, although hopefully he'll be neutered soon. And yeah, let's see, what other kind of fun facts can we come up with? Let's see. He is probably about 5 months old, so it's still just a baby. He is fully grown though, so yeah, he's super adorable. You definitely can litter train a bunny. The only issue is you just have to like get the space small enough so that they know where to go potty. They are den animals. So in the wild, naturally, they would pick a spot that is probably one of the furthest spots away from where they sleep, because they don't like to sleep where they poop. And then that's where you would put the litter box. The only reason why sometimes when bunnies stay with me, you might see poop kind of all over the place is because whenever a bunny goes to a new place, they actually go through something called poop wars. And they poop all over their territory to let other bunnies know that this is their territory. So, all right, we got a few seconds left and we can go into, we're going to spend the next 10 minutes working on grammar, punctuation, readability. I did a little bit of readability earlier, but definitely are your verb choices consistent? Is your POV consistent? For this one, again, I'm going to screen share AutoCrit as I edit, which means I will be speaking aloud during the sprint. So if you have any questions or whatever, that is the reason why you'll hear me when we actually get on to sprinting. So yes, for this chapter, review your grammar, punctuation, and readability. That is what we are working on. Tab and go. All right. Go into the grammar section. I'm going to click on spelling and grammar. We'll do that one first. We already did readability a little bit earlier, so we'll stick with this. Okay. But I tried not to whimper, but it snuck out. I'm going to say no, that one's fine. Nurse Kakoma. All right, so this one is a name, so we're going to exclude from all reports. So they have excluded it, so that means they won't keep tagging that as being out of control. Looks like I have a problem with, I was taught when I was younger to always do the double space thing. So some of these grammar issues is going to be that. All right. That's going to be this. They didn't like how many times I spaced. Let's see what else we have. Oh, we got some here. Yeah, this is all made up words. So we're going to exclude from the reports. Although I do want to, there's some people that actually are really awesome with with linguistics, it would be super cool to be able to work with that. All right, Talus, exclude from all reports. And Ustra, exclude. And I can't do this one because there's apparently a lot of things it could be, so I'm just going to click on it to ignore it. All right, as at the beginning of a sentence usually requires a second clause, maybe comma, question, or exclamation mark is missing, or the sentence is incomplete and should be joined with the following sentence. As if I could help it. When I wouldn't, they would sneer and scoff as if I were ungrateful. It is attached to this, so we will definitely as if I could help it. Ugly warted. It was an ugly warted toad. I'm surprised it's not showing up here as a thing, so we will exclude from the reports because this is definitely okay. And shockingly enough, Schrodinger. Oh, it wants to umlaut things on top. I'm terrible at spelling, so. Though at the beginning of the sentence usually requires a second clause. All right. Oh, okay. So the sentence, my family has become Schrodinger's cat, sort of. A Schrodinger's cat of a sort, both alive and dead, living in my memories, though I felt confident my gentle mother didn't make it out of her building. So what it's saying is that it should not be a second sentence. There we go. All right, the shoulda, coulda, wouldas. It does not understand the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and I have that. I'm going to keep it because I think it's fun, so we're going to exclude these. Now, these things are pointing out things that might be an issue. They aren't necessarily always an issue. So make sure that you consider why each one is like that. Obviously, shoulda, coulda, woulda is not actual real words, so that is the reason why they're showing up on this report. So you should have a reason. All right. So we are done doing all the spelling and grammar. We have about 5 minutes left. I am going to go on to... can go on to our verb choices. Okay, let's see. Let's just take a look at our dialogue tags while I'm here. All right, my dialogue tags, I got 9 in total. Asked is pretty normal. Nodded, smiled, pursed, looked, say, and voice. I could do better for look, say, and voice. Let's just click on those 3 and see what we could come up with for those. All right. And some of them are not. All right, he looked at me. Ready. Let's see. She must have looked at me. So this is definitely going to be something we're going to attack with our word choices because both of these are not really dialogue tags. I heard one of them say, "Good luck, doctor." All right, what else do we have? His deep voice echoed and thrummed in the acoustic cave, turning. All right. Okay. 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 Is there any in here that are adverbs? None found. We're good with that. Do you have anyone know what this is? Two, not bad. Not bad at all. Cliches. I'll write that down. 10 cliches. 2 redundancies. 'Exciting. We're almost done. Alright. We're not. But we got 2 minutes left. Alright. And all of our adverbs, we only have 1 of each. Not bad. We could continue to work on, I might later work on removing some of these adverbs. Basically, the rule is with adverbs, if you can say the sentence and remove the adverb and not lose anything from it, then just get rid of it. And that is what the rule is. So mostly what I'm going to do, and in fact, that's actually going to be next, is we're going to really dig into our passive indicators. We can look at tense consistency real quick. We do have some ing verbs. So shaking, woke to shaking. So woke is the passive verb, because you wouldn't say I woke to shaked. That doesn't make sense. I realized the shaking was from Scott. This will be taken care of when we get rid of was. Scott carrying me down. He didn't have to. Yeah, so this definitely needs to be fixed too. He didn't have to tell me to stay quiet. Okay. We have this, which we'll take care of soon. So most ing, it's I saw, blah, 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 and then the ing verb. They stopped talking. The mining cart, this is an adjective, not a verb. Oh, and that sound is our 5-minute break. All right. Taking a break. If you want to say hi in the chat or in the comment section, please feel free. We're going to get back to our bunny cam, and don't forget to hydrate. All right. Bunny cam, bunny cam. Okay, so let's see, what other things can we... All right, some tips and tricks. If you want to, what I was talking about before with training a bunny to go potty in the litter box, most bunnies are going to train themselves. But if you start them off with a very small space, that's why these spaces aren't super, super big. They'll use the litter box, and anytime they go outside of the litter box, you basically just sweep them up with a broom, because their poops are dry and hard, round pellets. You just take a broom and sweep them into the broom and then throw them into the litter box. And generally within a few days, they figure out exactly where to go potty. That being said, I do personally have a Flemish who gets great joy out of legitimately moving the litter box to the side so that way he can go poop underneath it, because, you know, he just feels like it one day. He'll be completely 100% litter box trained 90% of the time, and then just get something, just a wild hair, I guess, and just decides, I'm gonna be a rebel and I'm just gonna drive you crazy. And he'll pull his litter box out and play with it, and he's hilarious. The next few times we do this, you'll see some other guests that are staying. For those of you that don't know, I have a bunny boarding business, and these are guests that are staying at the house. And these bunnies are going to be leaving tomorrow. His sister Kai is right next door, and is right across from him. But since he is not neutered, they're not in the same space together, because we do not want babies. And even though they're still young at 5 months, they are old enough to have babies now. And since their gestation period is only legitimately 32 days, it's pretty fast, and you don't want an oopsie litter. So we actually have a blanket on the top of both of their enclosures, so that way they cannot get out and have a conjugal visit. So, all right, so our next prompt that we're going to be doing is, we are going to be reviewing our word choices. This is a time for you to break out your thesaurus. So we are going to take it sentence by sentence, and I am going to speak through this prompt so that way you can understand what I do. I have linked to 2 of the websites that I've used in the past to help me with certain phrases and words and stuff to try to remove while I'm editing. The biggest thing is to make sure that you're using active verbs instead of passive verbs. So that's when I was talking about my biggest crutch word is was and were. So I have them really bad. So use active verbs, not passive verbs. Limit your adjectives if you can. Avoid cliches, and avoid overused phrases. So I have 10 cliches and I have 2 redundancies that we noted before. These are things that I'm hoping to address while we are addressing the words. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Chrome tab. And there we go. Share. Okay. Passive indicators. I could spend so much time on this alone. I'm shook a little bit, guys. All right. Normally, every time I go in, my passive indicators is like 87, and this one is 37. So that's actually really awesome. I'm really happy about that. Was or were is definitely an issue. It looks like I have 9, and I need to remove at least 2, and then look at was 16 of them. I definitely need to look at those as well. So was and has are ones that I definitely need to look at. So first one, let's just do were. Okay, so at the end of the tunnel, we were in a small cavern. Let's just say I noticed a small cavern. I felt Scott shuffle me around as he sat down, keeping me on his lap. A soldier sat on either side of us, peeking around, watching for creatures to claw their way to us, but it was silent. We were seated in a mining cart of some sort. So we sat in a mining cart of some sort. It jerked on its own. All right. So next thing here, my legs were wrapped in bandages with thick socks over them like a makeshift cast. All right. Someone wrapped my legs in bandages. Oop. Yeah. Someone wrapped my legs in bandages with thick socks over them like a makeshift cast. Perfect. The longer I stared down, the more it itched, like drive me crazy hurt kind of itch. I tried moving my hands, which were in my lap. And apparently it does not like that, so I tried moving my hands. So, yeah. Yeah, definitely from is a good one. In my hands from my lap. I tried moving my hands from my lap. I needed to scratch it. So, those are good. Okay, so here's another one. Everyone seated was soaked except me. So, everyone seated. Under a waterfall. Everyone seated. Everyone's soaked. Except me. Maybe. I'm not a fan of that. Everyone's soaked except me. Got soaked. Everyone got soaked except me. It doesn't, I don't know, I don't think that'll be good either. Let's not do that one. Everyone's soaked except me. Ended up soaked except me. How about that? Aha! All right. She's light as a feather. He looked at me. Ready? I nodded. All right. So we actually do need to change this a little bit because each time that there's somebody else quote talking, you want to have a new quote paragraph. So she's light as a feather. He looked at me. Ready? I nodded. He shifted me into his arms again. I was shocked by his balance as he efficiently made his way to the platform near the group. All right, his balance. No. Yeah, I mean, he moved efficiently. As he made his way to the platform near the group. I mean, just something very simple like that. The two soldiers joined us. Dr. Frost looked at her watch as if she were late for a meeting of some sort. Dr. Frost looked at her watch as if she were late for a meeting of some sort. All right, let's see. Dr. Frost looked at her watch as if she were late. How do we change that? As if late for a meeting. All right, watched it. She looked at her watch as if late for a meeting of some sort. Haha. All right, my eyes were hypnotized by the lights passing in a steady rhythm similar to Scott's heartbeat. All right. The lights hypnotized me. The passing lights hypnotizing in a steady rhythm. The passing lights hypnotize me in a steady rhythm similar to Scott's heartbeat. Their fast pace slowed to a stop. All right. Where were we going? So in this case, this word we're definitely keeping because this is a, she's talking, or at least she's thinking in her head. I heard a click as the lock unlatched. All right, where else? Let's go jump down to our next word. But I noticed we were in another small cavern with a small waterfall spilling into a cave lake. My head felt like lead. And I don't know if this, let's just say period. Noticed our group stood in another small cavern with a small waterfall spilling into a cave lake. There we go. Done and done. What else? Was given. Once the order was given to take you out of the base. Once the order... Alright. Oh, so he is talking on this one. So once the order was given to take you out of the base, we headed straight here. Okay, so I'm going to keep it because it is part of his voice and how he talks. All right, here's our next word. When I wouldn't, they would sneer and scoff as if I were ungrateful, as if I could help it. All right. Scoff. Oh. If I could help it. Perfect. All right. And then we have was broken down here. The calm was broken by searing pain covering my body. Okay. The calm. Broke. Let's say searing pain. Oh my calm. Covering my body. Stole my calm. Broke my calm. Broke my calm. All right, so all the words. Now let's see has. All right, your body has given up. So again, he's talking. Scott lowered my body into the tepid water with the same gentleness he provided since I met him. So just pick out has. My family became Schrodinger's cat of sorts. Anything else? Nope, that's it. Oh, hold on. No, there's one more. Your body has... Oh, yeah. Just, we're good to go. All right. Let's take a look at have. Let's see if we can do it. You didn't have to tell me to stay quiet. I didn't need reminder to stay quiet. It's my head to his chest and listen to his breaths. All right, let's see what else we have. How much time do we have, Dr. Frost? Again, this is him talking, so I'm going to... All right, she must have looked at me. I'm just going to take that out, and she looked at me. She looked at me. Unfortunately, we don't have much time to discuss it. So this is, again, these next two are part of his conversations, so I'm not going to touch those. This is how he talks. All right. If I couldn't have peace, I would make sure others, less damaged people, find their tranquility. If I couldn't find peace. Find peace. I would make sure other less damaged people find their tranquility. That we'll probably deal with later, but we'll see. All right. Scott's voice lowered to a whisper in the lowest dulcet tone I have ever had the pleasure of hearing. So I'm just going to take this out and say lowest note ever heard. Okay. So let's try wasn't and was. Let's see if any of those can be taken care of. Took a moment to realize the shaking was from Scott carrying me down a lighted stone tunnel. Took me a while to realize the shaking from Scott carrying me down. Let's see, maybe we'll skip to the next one. Peeked around watching for creatures to claw their way to us, but it was silent. Right, but silence surrounded us. Maybe engulfed. Engulfed. That's a better word. Everyone ended up soaked except me. I don't know why that's highlighted. Okay. How much time do we have? That one's not bad. Oh, we can take off halves now. Okay. Last thing I heard was Dr. Frost's voice. All right. The last thing I heard Dr. Frost said, just keep it simple. All right. I groaned as I realized I was sitting in his lap again. He smiled at me. I groaned as I realized realizing on his lap again. All right. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a guard. No, it was a small group of people with their back to us in the dark, in the doorway. I hate the sentence, so we definitely need to fix it. I saw a guard I saw a small group of people with their back to us. Out of the corner of my eye. All right, that sounds much better. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a small group of people with their back to us in the doorway. The air in the cavern pressed on my lungs. My breath felt hot and heavy. I didn't take deep breaths. Okay. I frowned when it wasn't water. Scott offered a straw to me. I frowned when it wasn't water. I frowned. Okay, so I frowned thinking the contents held water. The sweetness, and then I'll just say instead, sweetness danced on my tongue. So that changes that. I cried silently, something I was good at. I feel like it should be something like I cried in silence. In silence. I cried with just tears. Silent weeping. A skill I mastered. That says the same thing, but better. I cried with just tears. Silent weeping, a skill I mastered. I like it. Okay, so all of these things here is she's thinking. So again, I'm going to keep the was that is in there because that is part of her voice. And then same with this one. Most of us kids never knew it existed and figured it was just a place in the stories of our ancestors. So that again is part of his speech. His eyes told me he was holding something back. He held something back. All right, here we go. Once the order was given to take you out of the base, we headed straight here, so we definitely need to change that. Oh, and we are at a break. We are taking a 5-minute break. If you want to say hi in the chat or in the comment section, please feel free. And we are going to enjoy Bunny Cam. Yes, of course. As. Wow. I love it. I love it. For sure. Love it. No, thank you. We take all of it. And love the fact that we have a flopped out bunny which means that this bunny is feeling safe and secure, and we are very happy with that. It makes me happy anytime I see that. 37. Just so you know, I went ahead and I clicked save, and I'm rerunning the thing, and we'll see. I went from 37 passive indicators to, let us take a look and see what our passive indicators are. And we are down to 12. That's incredible, guys. So, it takes little things, but this is why we do what we do. It is so slow and tedious, but I tell you what, it is worth taking the time to do it. Oh, that bunny is so cute. And I wish you could understand how tiny this bunny is, because, like, that mat we normally have out, and normally bunnies engulf that mat that he is laying next to, and it's basically the size of the bunny. It's hilarious. I'm thinking the next time we do bunny cam, I think maybe we will see about having our fosters. We'll see. It'll either be my fosters from one of the rescues that I work with, or it will be one of our guests. We'll just have to see, I think. Oh, I'm ready. We got, I'm not ready. I'm never ready for this. Okay. We're going to be breaking out our thesaurus. We're going to take it sentence by sentence again, and I am also going to speak through this prompt so you can understand what I do. We're going to work through getting rid of adverbs. I don't know that I had too many of them, but we will work through and see if we can get rid of some of them. Basically, if you get rid of the adverb and the sentence doesn't change, you should remove it. If you remove it and you can't find a better way to write the sentence, then you can keep it. I think I mentioned that earlier. So we're going to try to get rid of some of these useless words, and I am going to share my screen again once this break is over. Edit, and then that means I'm going to be speaking aloud, and that way you can understand like my thought patterns and where I'm going with it. So prompt 4 is 10 minutes long, and we're going to work on getting rid of adverbs, but we're also going to get rid of useless words too, some other useless words that we don't need. But we have some time to finish up. All right, we're getting ready. All right, I'm going to share my screen. Buketata. All right, so let's go into the adverbs section. All right, so we do have so let's see. He moved efficiently as he so he moved as he made his way to the platform near the group. You could say something along the lines of, if you wanted to keep it, it would be something along the lines of his efficient moves, or I was impressed by his efficient moves or something. But he moved efficiently as he made his way to the platform near the group. He moved as he made his way to, I would take out, if we're getting rid of efficiently, you would just say he made his way to the platform near the group. And taking away that doesn't really add the only thing that you're really getting rid of is the fact that he moves very agile and efficient. But I think we can do that by showing, not telling. So All right, let's see what else we have. Our group walked as quickly and quietly as a gaggle. So quickly and quietly, here's the thing, as the gaggle could. So let's see. So quick and quiet. Our group walked into the next hallway and another tunnel. And quiet. The group walked into the next hallway and another tunnel. All right, so that got rid of quickly and quietly. So now let's try finally. So I finally allowed myself to rest. It seemed to be the only thing I could do right, so I finally allowed myself to rest. So I allowed myself to rest. I think just get rid of that, and I'm also going to get rid of so. We don't like the word so. I allowed myself to rest. A moment. All right, so let's move on to the next one. Unfortunately, I'm going to ask you a crucial question. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. This is him talking again. So again, this is how he speaks, and I don't want to change that up too much because I want him to have a different voice than everybody else. So I'm keeping this in. Probably is another word that is him speaking. So again, same thing, and same with especially. We use adverbs a lot when we are talking, and that's okay. So this particular character uses them a lot, and so I am okay with keeping them in there. The tribe I grew up protects the sacred lake, loosely translated to Pandora. So again, this is his speech. Hopefully, same thing is another, this is during his speech as well. And already is another thing that is during his speech. Repeatedly is, it's him talking again. So as I said, and mentally, let's see what else. Solemnly. All right, finally, we got one that is not him talking. He nodded solemnly. I mean, I feel like it gives it a lot more impact to say he nodded solemnly, but again, I feel like that we should be showing that, not telling that, so I'm going to go ahead and just say he nodded. He's slow, nodded. No, it doesn't like that. So we'll get rid of it and just say he nodded. All right, and definitely scared. Where did that leave me? Alone, broken, definitely scared. And these are actually all when she's speaking, or at least in her head. So I'm going to keep that. So that's not bad. So we had 14. So let's run our summary report again and see where that leaves us, which is excellent all on its own. Ooh, and our numbers are getting a little bit better. So strong writing, we'll go into our adverbs. And we're down to 9. That's nice. Okay, so we'll go to, let's see, unnecessarily filler words. Let's work on them. Even, I have even a bunch of times. So let's see. My eyelids felt weighted as I, quick and quiet. All right, so I began to fall asleep again, even though I didn't want to. I'd just say, though I didn't want to, and it keeps the same. I began to fall asleep again, though I didn't want to. She's a fighter, even fighting sleep itself. So this is Dr. Frost talking. So again, I feel like she would say that, so we will keep that one. He smiled, good girl. I'm sorry for putting you through this. I don't think he would say it there. Sorry for he's much more to the point when he's talking, so I think that it'd be okay to get rid of that one. It's normal to build a rebellious protective wall to ward off any compassion from even one's mother. I think if you get rid of this whole sentence is kind of crazy. From others. Let's just say others. It's normal to build a rebellious protective wall to ward off any compassion from others. Now, remember, this is her speaking through her trauma, so must say that no, it's not normal. But there's no such thing as normal. All right. Even my breath stilled. I kind of like this one. I wanted to flinch away, but I couldn't move. Even my breath stilled. I needed to breathe. If I don't, I'll die. So this whole thing, I'm going to keep it. We only needed to remove 2, and we removed more than that. So that makes me very happy. If I reran this, click save, and reran it, I think that it would go and say either good or excellent. So let's run the summary report and see where we are. Ooh, and my percentage has gone up from 83.28 to 84.49. And just by working on these strong writing and unnecessary words. Yep, so we are down to, looks good on our unnecessary words. I think I wanted to work on word choice now here. Okay. Yeah. This one is one I get lost in a lot. If I do nothing else, doing repetition is what I do. Okay. So as you notice in this one, it doesn't actually say how many of each, but this gives you an idea of how many different overused words. Many times I use things 5, 4, 3 times, so that's a lot. So let's see if we can find some synonyms. So this is where our thesaurus comes in for sure. All right. Let's just find different ways of saying group. She was waiting with people. Platform. Ooh, and oh my goodness! Stop sharing. Go back into here. I can't believe it. Pens down, guys and gals, and everyone. Save your work. Give yourself a huge pat on the back because this hour went so fast. You've done so much. And your homework is to keep working on these individual chapters. I tell you what, I am going to be working on these repeated words. That is what I'm going to be doing. I'm really excited. And then what I'm going to do after is I'm going to reread it out loud, the whole chapter a few times, and just make sure that everything sounds right and that it flows right. And I want to address those 10 cliches and those 2 redundancies that I hadn't had a chance to look at yet. So those are all on my list. Go ahead and feel free to comment in the comments what you want to work on. So when you go to do your homework, make sure you take a look at your overall structure of your chapter. Does each chapter move your plot forward? This is a very important part in my chapter, so mine most definitely does. Make sure you are archiving everything. So archive anything that doesn't either move the plot forward or the character arcs forward. And then your next thing is going to be working on grammar, readability, and punctuation. Lastly, get rid of those useless words and repeated words. Use your thesaurus to come up with the different ways of saying the same thing, basically. I spend just hours working on those little paragraphs to make sure that each one, as I think it's Stephen King who says, every word, every sentence, every paragraph must have a reason for being there. So that is your goal. So take your time. And next Tuesday, we're going to continue to work on our individual chapters. You'll have to come and see what chapter we're on next. Tuesday, December 21st at 1 p.m., we will continue the editing process. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope, and I want to give a huge thanks to producer David McGinnis, Tabletop Audio, for their amazing music. That's what you're listening to right now. Please feel free to stop by their website. They have a link to their Patreon if you want to support them. Thank you also to autocrit.com for their amazing software. That is the software that I was using to do a lot of my editing. And I mean, it is an investment, but it is an investment for me that is really worth it to be able to see exactly where I'm going wrong and why. And then, of course, huge thank you to NaNoWriMo.org for hosting the amazing NaNoWriMo Challenge for over 10 years. You can find all of our links to our social media, and it's found in the description. So I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for coming. Bye.